from the Bvlgari Hotel Knightsbridge for Who Wants to Be an Interpreter, hosted by Dr Richard Obahor and keynote speaker Mr. Paul Obishneider. An evening with motivational speakers, struggles, realities. It's laced by men that don't connect. I'm enjoying the show, and I'm excited to be part of this great event.
I'm hoping that outside of this process, we come out inspired and pretty much go out there and take the bull by the horn.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome an entrepreneur in the true sense of the word, Dr. Richard Obahor. Let's give it.
I'm humbled to host all you wonderful people this evening at this very beautiful venue. When we first thought about putting this together, we thought that we'll go to a venue that will help us project entrepreneurism. And I sort of thought to myself there was no better place than the Bvlgari. And they've done excellently well in helping us put this together. They've been very, very professional, very, very professional. And I want to thank you as well for coming. I want to thank you because I say you can provide a platform, but you can't actually force people to walk on it. And you have decided to walk on this platform today, and I'm hoping that it will lead you to a better place. This one organization does better than another organization because of a reason. Successful entrepreneurs are successful because of a reason. Apple would release a product and the day before they will have people queuing out. It's not by chance. There is a reason for that. And as you know, they say success leaves prints. And I thought to myself that, you know what, how can I get people together who would come and share their stories, who would come and share their thoughts, who would come and share their views, who would come and share their prints, who would come and share the reason why perhaps they are standing out, they have stood out. And perhaps you might have one or two things to pick up from here that would also help you to stand out. You know, I have gone to pains, and when I mean pains to get to people that we have here this evening coming to speak to us. These are people who are extremely successful in their businesses, in their endeavors, because I feel that they can come and share their story. They can come and tell us the why. They can come and tell us the reason why they are where they are. So that's the whole essence. I know that we'll all have a very, very good time. Thank you so much.
The other thing Richard probably needed to mention is that he is a very meticulous guy. You know, and I sent him a message this afternoon, and I told him the reason you are successful the way you are is your attention to details, your meticulousness. Ladies and gentlemen, excellence and quality is never accidental. It is always the product of high intention, delivered with sincerity of effort, intelligence of direction, and with skillful execution.
Long list of wonderful speakers here today. I've got Ire Hassan Odukoye, the owner of Ikoyi Restaurant, who's doing wonderful things in the West End. I think it was Evening Standard that referred to him as the West African in the West End. He's doing tremendous things. He's an epitome of entrepreneurs. I've got Mariam Mola, who's got a very, very compelling story. Mariam had her baby in prison. Again, she's doing wonderful things. I think she opened the very first luxury shoe high in Westfield. I've also got Sheun David Onumasi, who is the founder of Still Dapper. Sheun opened the first TM Lewin shop in Abuja, doing extremely good things. I also got Keye, who is doing very, very well. Keye is a bespoke suit maker. Again, doing wonderful things. I've got Mrs. Udo Ukonji, wonderful, wonderful personality. Udo came in from Nigeria to be with us today. Udo runs, is the CEO of Fine and Country, one of the largest real estate companies in the whole of Africa. I've got Mr. Paul Schneider. In his time, he built the biggest real estate company in the whole of Eastern Europe. I've also got Emma Jones. Emma again is the founder of Enterprise Nation, doing wonderful, wonderful things. So I've got all these people who I want us to come and hear from, and I just feel that they'll be very, very inspirational. I'm hoping that outside of this process, we come out inspired and pretty much go out there and take the bull by the horn.
The next gentleman I want to invite today believes that if he advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, he believes that if he determines to live the kind of life that he has imagined, he believes he will meet with his success unexpected in common hours. He is the creative mind behind the brand Keye London, a mobile bespoke menswear fashion line based in the heart of London, with a track record of working for brands like Bvlgari, Next, Harrods, Nichols, and Selfridges, to name a few. He has over 15 years of working within customer service, marketing, personal and business branding, as well as training and working with youth and unemployed across southeast of England. A varied background. Let him tell us where he is in his journey. Let's give Keye Oduneye, please, a big hand.
When you have a brand, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what is your niche? Your clients are not everybody. I beg you. You're not made to cater, as a business and as a person, you're not made to cater for everybody. I had a really amazing experience that changed my life like never before. I was on the train, heading to Westminster. And a gentleman stopped me on the train at Canary Wharf. And he stopped and said, "Oh, lovely suit, where did you get it from?" And in that moment, I almost acted like a kid on the candy. You know when you forget that? That's a sale you're missing out on. I said, "Oh, I designed them." "Oh, really? Oh, that's really good. How much are they?" "Oh, no, they're bespoke." "Oh, really? How much are they?" And I went, so you know when you're doing your maths, you know, because in my heart, I was scared of money. All of you, this might sound like a crazy word. Some people are scared of money. I explain that. So I got nervous. I said, okay, if I make the suits, let me use £1, so you guys don't know how much this costs. So I said, okay, if I make the suit for £3, I tell them it's £5, I won't be able to. I say £6. So I said, okay, it's bespoke and the suits are worth £6. The gentleman looked at me, smiled, and said, "Oh, that's really nice. But you said it was bespoke." I said, "Yeah, it's on the very came 100%. Why not?" "Okay, nice. It was nice of you to." I stopped and said, "Is there anything wrong?" He said, "No, for bespoke, it just makes me feel that there's something wrong with it." He expected me to sell the suits for him for £12. Well, I made it for £3. What is my point? My point was, because I was only thinking of the money I was making, I forgot my niche. I wasn't selling the next suit. I was selling a bespoke suit. The same way you're selling your businesses. And when you're selling your businesses, it's not the product. People have stopped buying products. People. If you don't know it, please let me tell you, we don't buy products anymore. I want to buy your story. I want to buy your experience. I want to know that when next I'm wearing this or thinking about this, this is how I felt. That's the reason all the big brands out there, what are they doing? That's the reason why they have celebrities doing things for them. Yep. Because we connect with those people. And that is what, as an entrepreneur, it took me so long to learn that what I've been trying to achieve in 7 years, what I've achieved in 1 year with that knowledge, almost 20 times what my 7 years experience had been. And understanding some key principles, understanding my brand, which makes me understand my clients, understanding my niche, which makes me understand that not everybody, as Mom might say, we all love when we hear Mom, people discuss it when we see it, but Mom might say very clear, they're not made for everybody.
If you listen carefully, he downloaded some key nuggets. They're very simplified, but he downloaded one of those. He mentioned people buy you today. The world is no longer interested in generalists. You know, I see some people's business cards or calling cards, and they tell you they do a million things. The world's not interested in that anymore. The world is interested in what we call a key. Who's the specialist? Who is the best in that? So there's no point you wanting to be everything. You're diluting your market, your concentration. They don't know what to get you for anymore. Today we are living in the age of knowledge and information. In less than 3 generations, we have fast-tracked our way through the agricultural era where the ownership of cattle, farms, sheep was recognized as wealth. We fast-tracked our way through the industrial era where the ownership of machines, manufacturing equipment, production equipment is recognized as wealth. Today, in this age we are living in, known as the age of information and knowledge, the wealth is in between your ears. And this is why you are seeing the growth of young billionaires all over the world.
Another fabulous event. Very excited to be here with the organizer, Mr. Richard Obahor.
Thank you so much, Les.
Richard, very good inspirational speakers.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this event.
Right, okay. Yes, I hold that success leaves footprints. So I believe that people are successful for a reason. I believe that, I don't know if you're a football fan, I'm not, but I believe that Chelsea plays better than Man U for a reason.
We're happy about that.
And I also believe that organizations do better because of a reason. I believe that people line up to come and consume Apple products when they're just opening for a day, 2, sometimes. That's for a reason. I don't believe that things happen by chance. I think better performance happens because of something. And I know quite a few of these speakers who are extremely successful in their businesses, in their personal endeavors. I've thought in a way to get them together and get them to come and talk about the prints that they've sort of followed, the thing that they've done in their business, and sort of giving them an edge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up the next speaker real quick. Ever wondered who the brainchild of the much talked about Ikoyi London restaurant is? Meet the 31-year-old founder, the co-founder of the sensational Ikoyi London restaurant. The Evening Standard newspaper describes as West Africa in West End. Ire Hassan Odukale. Let's bring up the next.
Just because people are in different situations or in life or come from different backgrounds doesn't mean no one is better than you, especially when it comes to your product or your passion or your dream. Nobody knows more than you. There's this idea that we feel like probably are not good enough to be where we are. And if you don't see yourself there, then you can't actually get there. Because it's having that vision and making a plan to get to that vision that gets you there. But if you don't see yourself there, then it's not going to happen. You start climbing and then you get stuck. You find yourself at a point where you're not really moving, but it's been years and nothing is really happening. But it's actually you that's holding yourself back. And you have to change your mindset and be a bit more ballsy and a bit more daring, because I mean, people come and give you advice and come and give you their comments and their reactions, even if you don't ask. So if you listen to everything and you don't know where you're going, you get swayed to one side, and you never get there. But just keep your head down and keep doing what you know. Listen to people, but be wary that that advice isn't coming from. They don't know where you're going, and I mean they might think they do, but only you know. So they know that can pick what's good for you and what's not. That's it. Thank you.
This thing when I was 31. Oh my God. How long? What century was that? Oh my goodness. Well, if you listened yet again intently, there are consistent themes you'll be hearing over and over and over again from every entrepreneur. You've got to face reality. Okay? Amazed at what he is doing. Can we give him another big hand? Congratulations. Well done. The next lady I want to bring up, he has supported 500 female startup businesses in just 12 months, launching Europe's first designer shoe hire boutique in Westfield. Mariam Mola, let's give her a resounding round of applause as she comes forward. And Mariam, you gotta get that Mola.
I looked at my life and I realized that I wasn't going anywhere at all. My life wasn't progressing. There was a lot of activity, but activity doesn't mean growth, right? So I thought what was going on. I decided, you know, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do something. I like shoes. I've always liked shoes. And what the good thing about the job at financial services was that I was earning some good money at some time, and I just bought loads of shoes. Even if they weren't my size, I would go to sample sales and I would buy shoes. I was mad at the time, but I was like, no, Mom, like, you know, I'll get to gift it. And yes, so I got to buy loads of shoes, and it was amazing. I really resonated with, I can't really say the name probably, is it Ikoyi Restaurant. I really resonated with the story, because when I went to Westfield to open the store, I was 24 years old, with no experience, with nothing, no money, no budget. I just had a dream to set up a boutique. And all the questions they asked me, whose store is it? How much money do you have? What experience do you have? Immediately I thought they were racist, like, why? But I wasn't excellent, I wasn't ready. So it took some time, and eventually at 24, I launched the boutique, and it was incredible. Working with brands like Christian, Louis Vuitton, Jimmy Choo, blah, blah, blah. And it was great. And then I had a knock on the door. This time I'm pregnant, I'm happy, I'm going to church, I think church girl, things are good. And I get a knock on the door, and it's the police. And they're like, yeah, you know that crime from almost 10 years ago? Yeah, you've got to pay for it. And I've never felt so much shock in my life. You know, I don't really have shame. I think when you go through something like that, there's nothing to be ashamed about. It was everywhere. Everybody read about it, everybody had their own version of my journey, and so on. And I had to go to jail. I had to sit in the cell, and I had to have the baby in. It was not a hospital, but there was guards around. It was everything you can imagine that was there. But I didn't do the crying. You know, like when you do something, I done the crying, so why are you crying? The only thing I thought to myself was, what am I going to do to make a difference? What am I going to do to make sure this doesn't happen again? What am I going to do to make sure that young girls, especially young women of colour, feel as if there is a hope for them to do something amazing? So I thought about, what did I need more than anything? What did I need when I was messing around? I needed a mentor. So as I sat down, I remember breastfeeding my daughter on the cell floor, and I was like, hey, what am I going to do for her? What am I going to do for her? Because the thing about us black people, we don't give our children platforms, we don't leave anything. So there's nothing for her to go to. Statistics says that she's going to go to prison as well. Statistics says that she's going to go through all the things, if not more, than what I did. So I said, okay, I'm going to make a difference. And when I was released, I didn't have any money, I had nothing. I lost everything. I lost the store, I lost everything. But whilst I was in jail, I started to save all the money that family and friends sent me, I was saved. So by the time I was released, The money I had, I said I'm going to invest it in her. I put my daughter in nursery at 3 months old. People were like, it's too young, it's too early. I'll breastfeed and I'll pump some milk, put it in the freezer, run to nursery, just so that I can sleep and work. I wasn't going anywhere, but I was planning. I was going out working for free for other people. Even though I had my store, I had to humble myself. You've just gone to jail. You need to rebuild yourself. You need to rebrand yourself. Now, it's taken a lot of hard work. I've got to round up. I want to say one last thing. Inside every single one of us is an inner man that needs to be strengthened. That inner man wants to come out. So what I want to say to you is that keep pushing. I don't know your story. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what's happened. But keep pushing. If you keep pushing, if you keep going, one day something will work for you. I want to honor you, sir. Thank you very much for putting together such an incredible event. Thank you for hosting all these incredible speakers. They've moved me. I'm writing notes, I'm listening, and I just want to say thank you once more for having me share my story. And guys, tap into what's happening here. Hashtag tweet. Make this event a success, because you're going to have stuff that you're going to want people to come to and make it great. Yeah? Thank you.
Okay, very, very quickly. Who can tell me one thing you picked up from her story? Just one. Somebody in the room?
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Somebody else?
Stop holding yourself back.
Pardon?
Stop.
Make it a success.
Stop holding yourself back.
Stop holding yourself back.
Serve. You should serve.
Did you hear that? I thought that was the biggest thing that came out of her story. Did you pick that up? She served.
Taken a lot of time to get these people together. These are, as you know, extremely influential people, extremely inspirational people who are doing very, very well in their endeavors. They're very, very busy people. But I thought that it was important to come and get people to come and hear from people who are doing stuff, who are actually taking these moves and sort of making a move out there in the marketplace.
Developing and inspiring excellence for over a decade in the UK and Africa. In 2009, he opened Nigeria, Abuja's first franchise store for UK retailer TM Lewin. And in the first year, he net over 60 million naira. Doing inspirational things, Sheun David Onamisi, serial entrepreneur. Let's give him a big hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay. All right. So, as you've heard, my name is Sheun David Onamisi. I have been doing public speaking for a while, but I'm going to start with a question. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that you've got a bubble of idea that can change the world. Now, raise your hand again if you've ever felt that there's been so much odds against you, you don't know where to start. But I'm saying this because you have to think about this. I will give you some tools about taking your business, fast thinking, and moving it to the point where you go into execution in record time. But the basis of this is what I call the 7 F's of fulfillment. Now, I'm a person of faith, so I believe that you must have faith in something or someone. Okay, and faith in itself is predominantly because I believe that we're human beings, spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not physical beings having spiritual experiences. So predominantly as human beings, there's a spiritual element to every one of us. So this is not about being Christian, Muslim, or whatever it is. It's about understanding faith. And you must set goals around your faith because you will need it in business. And then I talk about family. And this part I personally love because there are a number of people that I've met in their lives who have made all that money in the world, but they've lost out their family. Now, I put this particular word up called trust. And I want you to think about it. Trust is the reason your customers will keep coming back to you. Trust is the only reason why someone would part with their hard-earned money on a long-term basis. You can trust some people, and those people are called mentors. mentors are very critical. I have mentors across all those 7 areas I mentioned. The best of the best, Anthony Robbins, Richard Branson, whatever sphere of life, they all have mentors. And one of the things that makes us fail as people is because we think once we have money, we don't need mentors. Because money is the yardstick for us. And that's why we don't succeed farther than a lot of other people. I sat down in the room with a billionaire once and I was shocked that this guy does not walk around with money in his pocket. He's borrowed money from me before. I thought it was wickedness. Money is the least thing that comes to his mind. Goals was more important to him. So ladies and gentlemen, I wish I had more time, but there will always be an opportunity, and I'm hoping there will be more opportunities. Now, aside from what I'm saying today, what Mariam has said, what Keye has said, what Ikoyi has said, was still going to come from here. Please, please, I beg you, set goals around it and go for it. Because there's so much you can achieve. There's so much more that you and I can achieve if we dare. Thank you very much.
With annual revenues just shy of £2.5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Wale Oladunke.
Fantastic speakers here are going to talk about their journeys, their stripes, if we put it that way. I don't blame the gentleman for saying don't trust anyone. He's just reflected his experience. How many of you can resonate with that? Yeah. Yes? And today I just want to sort of challenge the status quo a little by going through things perhaps from a slightly different perspective. And I'm hoping that you'll be one or two things in the few minutes that I'm here. So I want to start by asking the question, who is an entrepreneur? Because ladies and gentlemen, until we settle with who we're talking about, the likelihood is that we get things wrong. We shape the need to be a specialist, and the world is seeking for specialists. But even in your specialism or specialty, you have to ensure that you're always taking the vantage point position, looking at the horizon. Because there might be an opportunity to reposition that idea to better suit a fast-changing marketplace. Or it might be that you just need to reposition yourself totally. An entrepreneur is a consistent problem solver. What separates the great from the good from the bad and the ugly, if you like, is that when others see a problem and run the other way, an entrepreneur runs towards the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, money that we all want is the world's reward system for the problems that we solve. So if you get that, you start to prepare and position yourself for the entrepreneurial journey. I'll leave you with the words of a man that I respect, who says an entrepreneur is someone who decides to take control of things. Who decides to take control of his destiny, his purpose, and his value. Now what are you waiting for? Because you see, conditions will never be 100% perfect. They'll never be. If you're waiting for the right time, when the sun will shine, and this and that will happen, it may never come. But now is the perfect time. There's no better time than now. And you know what? What's the worst that can happen? It might not work. Fine. Start again. Do it different. Might lose a bit of money. But what if it does work? What if it does work? Suddenly, the entrepreneur is born. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Now, I want to invite a lady. She is the founder of Enterprise Nation, a business community with over 75,000 members. She's also the co-founder of Startup Britain, the national campaign to encourage more people to start a business and support existing businesses to grow. Emma Jones, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a big hand. Thank you. Thank you.
Over the past kind of 10 years, we've been building this business as a business support network. So as Charles said, we help people start and grow their own business. We do that in lots of ways. We deliver a daily blog post, we have lots of online webinars, we connect businesses with advisors, we do 120 events each year, from the UK's biggest startup show to international trade missions, and we campaign on small businesses' behalf. A big entrepreneur who we're doing business with at the moment called Richard Obahor runs a company called HomeServe. Everyone's like, he's a massive success, it's a £1 billion valued company. He's been running it for 24 years. So these companies, they take a long time to build. But today is an amazing first step for all of you, because coming to something called Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur, probably slightly influenced in terms of where the location is. I mean, I rock up here even if I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful in terms of background, but very happy to take questions. Thank you very much.
My question is, most small businesses tend to stop being a small business after like 5 years. So there's a thing that most people quit after 5 years. How do you go past that 5 years? And what leads to you stopping in 5 years? Like, what does that come from?
A lot of businesses fail within the first 3 years, so it's actually a bit quicker than 5. What stops people is literally the thing that I mentioned before, is they run out of stamina. So it tends not to be that customers aren't buying, that that their idea isn't good. That tends not to be the reason, because if you have the stamina, you will always find customers to buy, and you will always keep on going with innovation, and you will always attract the right people. But the thing that stops entrepreneurs is, honestly, it's that feeling when I read a brilliant quote the other day from the Apple founder, Steve Jobs, however one pronounces his name, and I think we all agree he built an amazing couple of businesses. And for 33 years, what he would do is every morning he would look at himself in the mirror and he would say to himself, if this is your final day on earth, are you doing what you should be doing? Every day he said that to himself for 33 years, and I've started doing it. So now, every morning when I brush my teeth, I look in the mirror and I say to myself, if this was your final day on earth, are you doing what you should be doing? I.e., are you still enjoying it? Is this the right use of your time? Fortunately, I can say yes every day, but what a lot of entrepreneurs get to the stage of is where they're just like, no, I'm tired, my team's getting me down, my product's not selling, and I don't have the energy to kind of pick it up and see where else we go, I can't get support. That tends to be what makes businesses stop.
Would you agree that we could keep Emma for the whole day? I think she's amazing. Let's show her our appreciation. He is an American businessman, angel investor, property developer, and speaker. He is best known for founding real estate companies including Oberhaus Real Estate and Hauser Oberschneider, which is worth about $200 million. He created one of the largest real estate companies and asset management firms in Central and Eastern Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote address leads Paul Oberschneider. Let's give him a big hand, please.
Thank you very much. I'm going to dispel a few myths, as I normally try to do, because nothing is written in stone. You know? We can rewrite the script, we can change the channel, we can do whatever we want. You all know who this guy is, right? He's not an entrepreneur. His father was the largest residential real estate developer in Brooklyn and Queens when Donald was in military school. So he didn't start with nothing and come out of nowhere. He started with $120 million in his pocket when he became a developer in New York City. I like this guy. Everybody knows who he is, Bubba Gump, from the movie Forrest Gump. Now, while he's a fictional character, he's my hero. Because here's a guy that shows up just about anywhere and makes something happen. He's not particularly intelligent. He's not particularly skilled, but yet he finds himself in situations that he makes the most of. And I think, at least where I come from in America, that's what it's all about. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be over there. You have to be here. You know, and wherever you are, wherever your feet are, that's where the opportunity really is. Now, let's talk about some real entrepreneurs and not those that are just in the movies. Who knows these guys? Hopefully everybody. Do you know who these guys are? I went to school with Ben Cohen in upper state New York. So they decided to go into the food business because that was their passion. They like to eat. And they had an opportunity. They thought, okay, how are we going to do this? So they were going to buy a bagel machine and they were going to buy an ice cream machine. They had a choice. The ice cream machine was cheaper. And that's what they bought. And they went up to Stowe, Vermont and borrowed their friend's garage and they started mixing things. Now they weren't, everybody making ice cream isn't unique, is it? That's not unique. Throwing chocolate chip cookies into ice cream isn't really unique, although perhaps at that time it might have been. But what made the difference with these guys is what happened next. They were putting their ice cream on the shelves of all these Vermont stores, and Pillsbury, which was the largest ice cream producer dairy company in America, one of their representatives saw what was going on. The stores, they said to the store owner, we don't want to see any of this stuff on the shelves anymore. Get it off. Or we're not selling our wonderful ice cream to you any longer. Well, a Vermont journalist picked this up and wrote an article called Who's Afraid? What's the Pillsbury Doughboy afraid of? And it went viral across America because us Americans, we love the underdog. You know, we love the underdog. And that story went viral. Well, Ben and Jerry's, they couldn't keep up with the demand. Everybody wanted their ice cream now from coast to coast, and they were just producing the stuff in where they needed to build a factory. So I started writing all these applications for business schools, and I applied to 12 schools, which basically meant I wrote about 120 essays. And they all said the same thing. They all asked the same questions in a different way. So I wrote these 120 essays, and what I didn't realize, and this is probably tip number one, if there's tip number one, you can rescript, you can wipe the hard drive clean, and you can rescript your life anytime.
This is a lot of inspiration on show, right?
Sure. Yes. I mean, like I said, I'm expecting everybody to come out of this process inspired, looking to start to think that what else can I do? What's the next thing? I mean, if I have these people coming out to speak to us, these guys have a head, 2 hands, 2 legs like I have. If they can do it, I can do it as well. So that's the reason why we've put this together. And we want people to go out there and say, you know what, yes, I can do it.
Mr. Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.